Hey everyone, John from RC Departure. Thanks very much for joining me. Well, here it is, the new E-flite AS3Xtra. When this was announced, I was super excited. I love the original UMX Extra. If you have that plane, you know how special it is. I still fly it all the time. In fact, if you go by the number of flights alone put on an airplane, that's probably my favorite plane. I probably have hundreds of flights on it. It's still going strong and just a fantastic design. So when they announced there was going to be this one with the AS3Xtra system, along with some different flight modes so you can do hovering, knife edge, and torque rolling, it just was a must-have. $100 buy and fly basic. This is just the airplane. You need to supply the transmitter, the batteries, and the charger, and they recommend the single cell 150 milliamp packs, either the 45C pack or the 25C pack. And you know, I'm not gonna talk about the box anymore. Let's go ahead and take a look at the plane. We'll go over the specs, and then we'll talk about the AS3X system, and then we'll go fly it. Okay, here's everything out of the box. The instructions, as usual, on the bottom of the styrofoam tray. Side force generators were in a little pocket. And here's the airplane, which just looks really nice. It's a nice bright green color. I like the scheme. Here's the bottom with the carbon fiber reinforcements, carbon fiber gear. You've got some foam reinforcement along the bottom of the fuselage there to help make it a little more rigid for that aerobatic flying. And just a really nice looking little extra. Okay, let's talk about the components real quick. Up front we have the brushed motor, which is an ultra micro brushed motor, 8.5 by 23 millimeter. And you know, a lot of people lament that these have brushed motors. They wish they had brushless, but you know, I think the brushed motor is just fine for this airframe. The original UMX was plenty of fun with that brushed motor, and it's lasted. And that really helps keep the cost of the whole package down. So I like this motor. I think it's great. We have the 2.3 gram linear long throw servos on the aileron each side, and then we have the receiver ESC servo combo AS3X right there, located about mid fuselage. So that's basically the components. I'm going to be using the E-flite batteries, the 150 25C as I mentioned, and then the 150 45C. Just want to show you guys really quickly how the side force generators attach. They have little slots for the carbon fiber wing supports on the bottom. They just slide in there on each side. And you just want to make sure that everything is 90 degrees and then glue them into the spars and then along the wing. And that's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do. Before I talk about the alternate flight mode programming with this model, I just want to touch on AS3X in general, just for a moment. So as you probably know, when you bind the model or when you arm the ESC, you want to make sure that the model is still so the AS3X will arm normally. You want to make sure the control surfaces are all centered. And if a control surface is off, you know, before you're going to fly, you don't want to use subtrim to center this. You want to make sure all your subtrims are just left alone, left at 0. Don't go into that programming on your radio. Instead, if you need to do it, use that little U-bend right there in the push rod and either compress that or expand it to get the control surface centered. So leave those subtrims alone. The other thing is once you're flying, if you need to trim the model, putting a couple clicks of trim in is okay, but if you find you need a lot of trim, you're better off landing it and trimming it mechanically with the AS3X than adding too much trim into it. As far as Expo goes, you don't really need to use Expo with the AS3X. It sort of has it built in already. So in a way, you're kind of adding Expo on Expo if you use it. I don't use Expo with AS3X, and I found you don't really need it that much. So that's basically AS3X in a quick review. Let's go on and talk about the alternate flight mode programming. So here we are on page 6 of the manual. This is the alternate flight mode programming page, and this is pretty important for the alternate flight modes such as hover assist, torque roll assist, and knife edge assist. You do need a 3-position switch on your transmitter, which you can assign to channel 5. If you only have a 2-position switch, you're only going to be able to alternate between switch 0 and switch 2. You won't be able to use switch 1. So I will show you real quick how to set up the 3-position switch on the DX18. Okay, to set up the 3-position switch on the DX18, we will enter the programming mode. I'm going to use switch C just because I like to keep my right thumb on the aileron and elevator, and I can reach this pretty easily just like this and still keep the throttle going. So do whatever is easier for you, whatever you like, but I'm going to use C. So let's go ahead and set that up. Click on the scroll bar there, and we'll go down all the way to System Setup. And yes, I'm sure. Now we're going to go all the way to Channel Assign. Right click there. And there is the Channel 5 gear. So we'll go to Next. And we'll go right into there. And A, B, C, just like that. Back to List. Main screen. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Now C is assigned to Channel 5, and we should be able to toggle between those different flight modes. All right, we're back, and we have assigned switch C as a 3-position switch on Channel 5 for changing our alternate flight modes. Default modes are here. General flight, which is basically AS3X, but you have aileron heading hold. Standard AS3X we're all used to, and then the new hover assist. So switch 0, switch 1, switch 2. You don't want to launch it in hover assist or torque roll assist. You want to launch it in general or AS3X. Also, if you land the airplane or shut the throttle for a few seconds, it will reset automatically back to general flight so that when you relaunch, you won't be in hover assist. When you're in hover assist, or for that matter, torque roll assist, you don't want to try fast forward flight. You will get strange oscillations in the airplane, and I definitely found that to be true. It is not fun. You want to be flying around basically in these modes unless you're actually doing the hover or the torque roll, and sort of the same thing for the knife edge assist. So we have those 3 defaults, and we can toggle between them. Now if you want to get into knife edge assist and torque roll assist, you will go down here. Here are the defaults, and here are what you can change them to. So very simply, you will turn the transmitter on, put the sticks in this position, plug the battery into the receiver. You'll get 3 red flashes, and you will toggle from the default to the next one. So you can change the switch 0 from general flight to AS3X mode. You could change switch 1 from AS3X to knife edge assist, and you could change number 2 from hover assist to torque roll assist. And when you want to just go back to everything default up here, you would just put the sticks in this position and then plug in the battery. So that's it in a nutshell. It's pretty straightforward, but I definitely recommend you take a look at this so you get an idea of how to do that. And I think we're all set. We're ready to go fly.